it's me, Clarissa, here on Clarissa Says, where Clarissa says it all, and that is how I feel. So, first off, let's put my seatbelt on, y'all, because I'm in the car. And I want to make sure that I'm doing things all legal, especially with this topic, talking about YNW Melly. Y'all. Okay, so the indictment has came out. 8 pages, by the way. 8-page indictment. It's 16 pages. I thought I only seen 8 pages, y'all. So this is a 16-page long indictment. And let me tell you, the stuff done got real. This is like one of those indictments where every single detail is listed out, like, specifically. And you know why? Because of forensics. You know why? Because it is in Miramar. I cannot stress the fact that this man did this stuff in Miramar, Florida. Miramar. Who even knows what Miramar is? Does anybody even know Miramar exists besides, everybody that lives in the local area? No one really knows what Miramar is. If you look up Florida, you're not going to think of Miramar. You're going to think of Orlando, Miami, maybe Tampa, maybe Jacksonville, but Miramar is one of those places where you never will think about. And here it is, this hunky-dory, quote-unquote, suburb, but not suburb, place has a double murder, and you don't think they're gonna go out and they're gonna search till they drop? Like, they search all day and night trying to figure out what happened to these 2 young men. So the facts then came out. Now, I'm not gonna read to you guys the full indictment, but I'm gonna give you like a quick story, like the quick updated version of what happened to the 2 men that died, young YNW Melly and YNW Portland. So what happened to YNW Sack Chaser and to what happened to YNW Juvie, because those are the 2 people who passed and that are no longer alive because of YNW Melly or YNW Portland in the situation. Now, again, they have not been sentenced, so we do not have all the full details, and it is not actually, I guess, legitimately signed that they did do the murder of these 2 young men. But this is what this story is saying and the indictment. Again, this is what the story is saying and the indictment. I am not incriminating anyone because I don't know neither one of these people directly. I don't know anything about their lives. I do not know what really happened that day or that night. So I'm not incriminating nobody. I'm just telling y'all what it says on the website and on, online with the news, and what it says in this indictment that I'm reading very, very briefly to you guys. And again, I'm going to try to sum this up very, very quick. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. So bear with me if I jump around. And so this is about, again, YN Melly and what happened with, the 2 men that died, because they dropped them off at the Miramar Memorial Hospital. And they said it was a drive-by shooting. Can you put the window up? They said it was a drive-by shooting. And the drive-by shooting, they didn't mention who did it, what did it, how it happened. They just said it was a drive-by shooting, and Portland dropped them off. Henry, dropped them off at the hospital. Now, at this time, Demons, which is a YNW Melly, he was not around it. He was not at the hospital at this point in time, and he said that he was not around the situation. But forensics shows that there's a full different story. So again, I'm going to jump around here, but I want y'all to, get the full gist of what's going on. So here we go. Murder in the first degree with a firearm, count 2. Okay, on or about the 26th day of October in the year of 2018 in the county of Broward, state of Florida, Jamel Demons and Cortland Henry did then and there unlawfully and feloniously, while acting as principals, killed and murdered Christopher Thomas Jr., a human being, by shooting with a firearm with the premeditated intent to cause of death in the said of Christopher Thomas Jr. And during the course thereof, Jamel Demons did actually possess and discharge a firearm, and as a result, death was inflicted on Christopher Thomas Jr. Contrary to section 782.041 parentheses A parentheses 1 parentheses and parentheses 2 parentheses D 77.011 and 775.087 parentheses 1 of the Florida statutes parentheses L10. Okay, so the probable cause, here we go, this is the meat, y'all. Okay, so on October 26, 2018, at around 4:35, Courtney Henry entered the emergency room at Memorial Miramar, which I just told you guys, which is 1701 Southwest 102nd Ave, requesting assistance for the two passengers, which we just discussed was YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie, or Christopher Thomas, and then the other one is Andre or Anthony, what's his name? I know his last name is Williams, but I forget his name. Anyways, you guys know his name. So he entered the hospital, right? And when he entered the hospital, he had his Jeep, a 2018 Jeep Compass with the Florida register. So okay, it was registered, everything was legal. As they were leaving, you know, security asked the details as to what happened, where, you know, everything happened, and what were the details of this gun, you know, violence. Like, what happened, how does this happen, what's going on. And they gave the details that we just, you know, discussed. So Anthony Williams, sorry, I said Andre, I believe it's Anthony, but it's Andre, it's Anthony Williams, sorry. Anthony Williams was the second one, you know, who was involved with this, but he was the front right passenger of the car. Okay, and Anthony sustained gunshot wounds to his torso and his head. So like, they shot him in the torso and in the head, while the right rear passenger seat was Christopher Thomas. So Anthony was in the front, Christopher was in the back. Okay, now mind you, again, they said that YNW Melly was not in the car, but when we go through this indictment, you're going to see that they said that YNW Melly was on the left hand side in the back, which was next to Christopher Thomas, meaning that Henry was to the left in the driver's seat next to Anthony, right? Okay. Yeah. So let's continue. So Henry was questioned again, and he said that according to him, it was two victims in his vehicle, and they drove down 595 to 175, exited at Miramar Parkway, heading west. And then Henry said that just past Southwest 160th Ave, which is Dykes Road, which again, like I explained in my last video, out there in the boondocks, out there on Everglades, out there in the boondocks, a vehicle pulled up out of nowhere and started shooting. And again, Henry was on the left-hand side driving. Anthony Williams was in the same seat as me, on the right-hand side in the front. Behind him was Christopher Thomas Jr., and next to Chris was Melly, okay, on the left-hand side. So let's move forward. Henry immediately lowered his body position to the floorboards in a protective posture to avoid being shot. So it said that Henry, you know, basically protected himself. This is a story that they gave to the people at the hospital. Now, remember. So Henry added that when he sat upright, his friends Williams and Thomas were both shot and basically dead. He wanted to bring him to the hospital, make sure everything was great, so he brought him to the hospital. Now, let's go ahead and move forward to where it gets good, guys. Let me tell you where it gets good. So at this point in time, all they can tell at the hospital is that there was a shooting and that there's two men that are dead and one man giving the story. But YNW Melly was not in this case at this point in time because he was not mentioned in this situation, even in the drive-by, whatever. But what happened was they found forensics on YNW Melly, and this is the forensics, and this is where I'm going to get to. I'm going to skip all this stuff on here, to be honest, but this is where I'm going to get to. So they found forensics, and the forensics that they found was from a bullet. It was from a gun. I think it was a Wesson gun. I'm gonna find it for you guys as I read and browse through here, but at the end of the day, they found the shellings of the gun that he used, or that is claimed that he used, again, because he has not been sentenced to anything, and you know, this is not definite. And you know, let's go. At the end, I'll tell you my thoughts on this. So just bear with me to the end, you guys. Bear with me to the end. But I had to do the story like now. So, cool. So, okay. They found this. They found this shelling on the left-hand side of the back seat where YNW Melly was sitting. Okay. They found this gun shelling at the back seat on the left-hand side on the floorboard. Now, mind you, they already said that YNW Melly was not involved in the situation, okay? But let's back it up. So, it is claimed here that they went to their recording studio. The recording studio was New Era Sound. This is the night that this happened. Again, this is the morning. Sorry, I say night, whatever. They were at the studio at the night, and then the morning came around 4 something. This is when it happened. So, okay, let's do this. The location of the studio is identified as 805 Northeast 4th Ave in Fort Lauderdale, which is New Era Recording Studio. Detectives Toyota and Bertrand made contact with the management on October the 26th, 2018. The manager of the studio, Albert Price, confirmed the victims were at the recording studio, and along with Jamel Demons, YNW Melly, and Cortland Herring, YNW Portland, and the manager provided Toyota and Bertrand access to the studio security cameras. Boom. This is where it gets sticky. Now, those cameras have evidence of all 4 of them leaving at the same time in the same car. Now, mind you, when YNW Portland, which is Henry, took them to the hospital, YNW Melly was not involved at all in the situation. But they all left at the same time from the same location at around 3:02 a.m. Okay? Now, the video was behind 1 hour, which is said here, that's irrelevant. Like I said, 3:20 in the morning. So the drivers were identified as Cortland and Henry. We already decided that. We already know it's Cortland. We already know it was Henry. And the rear passenger was YNW Melly. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward, right? It was noted that Demons had a light brown satchel hanging down on his left side of his body. The satchel appears to be weighed down by the contents where we don't know. It was unknown. When Christopher Thomas Jr. departed the studio, he was carrying a black satchel in his left hand. And that satchel also appeared to be weighed down as well. Now, the gray Jeep with the above listed individuals, all 4 of them, like we said, all 4 of the people were in the same gray Jeep Compass. All 4 of them left, and they all left at the same time. There was a red Mitsubishi driving behind Withers. It was a red Mitsubishi being driven by Withers. Sorry, not behind, but they were driving behind, YNW, Melly, Cortland, Anthony, and Chris. So this red Mitsubishi was driving behind them from the studio, from the get-go, right? And it was occupied by Adrian Davis. So Adrian Davis was the one who was driving behind all 4 of them before the situation happened. And then this same Adrian Withers Davis was also the one who was in that vehicle who drove the car that YNW Melly got into. So YNW Melly was not with them when they went to the hospital because he got out of the car, which he was in, and went into the car with Adrian Davis. Now, it was driven by Withers, and that's someone totally different. So you have Withers and Adrian Davis. Both of them were inside the same vehicle, which is the Mitsubishi, but which was also driving behind all of them. So there's 2 guys behind them and 4 in the car. 2 end up dead. The other 2 was the getaway drivers for YNW Melly, right? Y'all follow me? This is really what it is. Okay. So let's just go and do this. Let's just go ahead and confirm this. So let's skip a lot of this stuff because we honestly don't care about really Withers and Adrian that much, besides to know that they were the ones who drove behind and they were the ones who took YNW back to wherever he had to go, wherever he was living. They took him to his house, and they have video recording of them driving in through the gate with the surveillance video of them dropping off YNW Melly. Now, those two people, Withers and Adrian, are both arrested at this time. Now, let's go ahead and scoot forward. Now, let's get to the forensics, y'all. Again, I mentioned there was on the left-hand side on the floorboard shellings, leftover shellings, and this is where it gets sticky because the story was that there was a drive-by shooting, right? There's a drive-by shooting, but the forensics shows the casing in the back seat. So now there's an objective to really go into details, and this is what this indictment says. I'm gonna just go ahead and brief it up real quick because I want the video is too long, but once I get the info. So this is where the stuff hit the fan. So forensics came out, y'all. They saw that shelling. They said, oh, okay, let's go ahead and do some research on this shelling. On this shelling is YNW's, you know, DNA. It matches to his gun, and everything's matching up. Like, everything is matching up. So the issue is that when they go and do the autopsy on these two men, the story is not aligned. It literally is basically the wounds, the inflicted wounds upon, you know, Christopher Thomas and Anthony did not add up to being in like a drive-by shooter. The wounds that you would normally get inflicted upon from a drive-by shooting on the left side or right side, whatever, it didn't match up. First of all, YNW Melly was on the left-hand side, and his wounds are from the left side. They shot up the right-hand side. The right-hand side of the car that they were within was the side that basically had most of the shooting. I'm pretty sure they made it look like something too on the left side, but nah. It was the right-hand side that really had the shooting up, that really looked like the shooting up. So, you know why? Because they were on the left-hand side, so it would make it seem like they shot from the left-hand side. It would make it seem like they got shot from the right, so therefore it didn't lead to them. And again, they staged this. So let's go back to that little shell casing, right? So the shell casing that they found, they also tracked with dogs, the big dogs, the CPA, police, PD, K9 dogs, sniffed that shelling and took them back to that area. They took those dogs back to that area where the situation happened, and they find 8 other casings to match with the same exact casings that YNW Melly had in his gun, y'all. These are the details. So what that means to everything is that YNW Melly was definitely there, which they said that he wasn't because he wasn't there, quote unquote, at the hospital, and that they tried to stage and basically like come up with the story as to what happened. And prior to all of this and after the situation, he was in contact with his girlfriend mother and all of that, and basically saying that he has to be more loyal to Bortman because he was down to him, like he was down for him, like, and he, you know, basically showing that he has to be loyal because he did, you know what you did for me. You all know what he did for me, so I gotta be as loyal as possible, stuff like that. And not only that, he was on Snapchat doing this back and forth kind of stuff, and they saw this activity. Oh, and not only that, they went a step further to check the cell phone records. And for those of you that do not know, your phone off or on, not off, location, check location, not check from your GPS on your phone. It does not matter. Once you get a phone and you put in that SD card and that battery, there is a tracker to track you. And literally, they have the tracking information from his cellular device of him being in the car originally with Bortland, and him getting out of the car, that Jeep with Bortland, and getting into that red Mitsubishi with Withers, and getting into red Mitsubishi with Adrian Davis. So they tracked all of this. All this information is connecting, and unless someone is really after this man, he really did do this heinous crime. Like, they really did kill the best friends. Like, I don't know why. Y'all don't know why. I don't know why. And again, I don't know the full details of what really went on, and I don't really know the full story as to why they were going to do this. And again, I'm not indicting anybody. I'm not playing part of, sending anybody to jail, because, at the end of the day, when stuff is not connecting, okay, police officers can get stuff and can make things and can plan things. I know people are going to say that, well, maybe police officers planted stuff. Maybe the police officers took, things that matched, that can match up and make situation happen. But let's be honest. If this was anywhere else, people, okay, this is Miramar. I can't stress this any further. They're going to do their hard research. If you went to like Jacksonville, Miami, they probably would look because it's 2 people that died. But like an area that has high crime, this would be something that would kind of be brushed under because he is, he was coming up and aspiring, so they wouldn't want to damage, because again, this is his posse. They wouldn't want to damage his career and stuff like that. And not even that, there's just too many other people that are dying and killing and stuff like that are being killed, and in situations that their focus is not going to be on this. But you are in Miramar. They have nothing else to focus on. Like, they're waiting for this. They're like, I promise you, they were excited. Like, finally some action. Like, yes! I can do something. I can investigate. Yes! Yay! Let's do this! I'm not saying you were dumb, but y'all would have had, like, I don't know, Polo. If y'all listen to Polo Poo, they would have a better chance driving them behinds up to Duval and leaving them somewhere and acting like nothing happened, because like I said, it's too much activity. But they left them at a hospital, like, which then leaves questions. And I'm not saying to leave dead bodies, but if you got out of the car, y'all shot them first of all. Another thing, the indictment actually says that they shot them first. They shot them first inside of the car. They were inside of the vehicle, and both of them, Christopher Thomas and Anthony, was shot first inside the vehicle. Then they got out of the vehicle and tried to stage the shooting, so therefore it would look like a drive-by shooting. Now again, they found casings outside, and I think they probably left the casings outside, so therefore it looks more authentic, like a drive-by shooting. But that didn't make any sense to me personally. I'm pretty sure they probably forgot about it or just in the moment, because if you're trying to make up for what you just did and trying to avoid being into real trouble, like, you didn't cover all your tracks by leaving casings and stuff like that out. Even Bortland, YNW Bortland, when he left the studio, he had on a black shirt, and that black shirt that he had on had blood residue from the situation that happened in the car. And that's what the new indictment as well. I told you I'm gonna sit around too long for me to go into, but he had a black shirt on with blood, and he changed his shirt, and he had a black hoodie on when he walked into the hospital. So he's trying to cover his tracks. If y'all trying to cover y'all tracks, I don't know why y'all leave fresh casings outside. Maybe it was too dark for y'all to see it, but they found those same casings from the gun that y'all used, or someone used. Someone from the other car got out of the car and shot them both, and then YNW Melly got out of the car and went to the other car. Maybe they weren't even ones really shooting. Maybe someone from the other car took their gun and used the gun on the 2 men. I don't know. But I do know one thing. There's a lot of missing details, and the things are going back to YNW Melly. Regardless if they did take his gun and he was an actual shooter, the gun was in his name and his possession, and his forensics go back to him because it's his possession. So I don't know, y'all. We would definitely find out. Again, I am not trying to make anybody go to jail. I am not saying factually that he did it, but it definitely looks like he did do it. And again, even if he did not do it, some missing details as to who do it, and if they're not going to tell on what really did happen, the real main details, and how his forensics got there, or how the guns got there, how the gun shells got here and that, why y'all staged it, why y'all didn't stage it, what the real details are, and they're not going to snitch or tell whatever, he's going to go down for it. Regardless, if he did or not, he's going to go down for it. And that's, to me, a complete waste of talent. You watch this documentary talking about to these little kids, I want to see you when you get older. You're going to be a singer, you're going to do this and that. And now you sitting in jail. Like, what kind of a role model does that do for our people? Like, this is a problem, I feel like, with our fucking people. Especially those in the entertainment business. People and young kids would rather follow or behind people that are in the entertainment because they see money. But these people that are quote unquote in the entertainment business are not real wholesome role models for these young kids. And these are things that we are seeing everywhere. There's so much violence going on in the rap industry everywhere, in every aspect. It's freaking ridiculous. But you guys, I wanted to give you the update on this autopsy. I hope you guys went ahead and got this information. I want to link down in the same exact website I got this information from, so you guys can go through the whole indictment. I'm not going to read the whole thing to y'all, but definitely I want y'all to take your time out today and read through this indictment so you can get some more details, you know, within the situation. I hope all for the both of them, the best of the both of them, Henry and YNW Melly. My bad, Melon, y'all. YNW Melly. I'm thinking about melanin because we need more of people that are in this industry that is actually a voice to do better. Especially us melanated people. That's the real I'm thinking about when I said melanin. Like, it's just horrible. It's just horrible. And then the ones that actually are doing good and are pushing forward for success, they're not really bringing people along. They're just doing it. So people are being lost. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't know if they can't, you know, be more better role models or actually interject into people's lives like that because of their own personal thing going on with their egos, but they should. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Wish best for both of them, RIP Anthony and Christopher Thomas. My condolences go out to both of you guys as family. Sorry for the reality that you have to, you know, go through. Everything happens for a reason. We need to figure out that reason and what it is and hope for the best for everybody in this world. Y'all, see me in the next video. If you're new to my channel, hi people, thank you for subscribing today, and if you have not already subscribed, subscribe. What are you waiting for? More content like this, more information. When I get more information out, I will promise you I'll put it out here as soon as possible. As you see in my car, I'm not playing with you, y'all. I'm trying to get information out because I really still don't understand why they would do something like this. There's nowhere even in the indictment where it says why. I want to know why. If anyone knows why, let me know why, y'all. Put it in the comment section down below right now. Why do you think he did it? Let me know. What's up? If you've already gone ahead and follow me on Instagram, find me on Instagram at Clarissa Says, KLARISSICASAYS. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey fam, thank you for joining this video today, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out, y'all.